This meeting to order. It's a work session of the governing body of the Borough of Bloomingdale today, Tuesday, September 8th, 2015. I'd ask everyone to please rise to salute our nation's flag, and I would ask our police department, just stay where you are, just lead us in the pledge if you'd be so kind.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Dunleavy.
Here.
Councilmembers Della Ripa.
Here.
Costa.
Here.
D'Amato.
Here.
Hudson. Present. Sondermeyer.
Present.
Yazdi.
Here. Also with us, Jane McCarthy, our borough clerk, our borough attorney, Tracy Schnur, our police chief, Chief Burrell, and the finest members of the finest department are also with us. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. This is an official meeting of the governing body of the Borough of Bloomingdale on December 12, 2014. The date, time, and place of this meeting was faxed to all local news media and posted here at Borough Hall. Per state fire code, I am required to acknowledge there are two emergency exits in these council chambers, the main entrance which you walk through and the secondary exit to my left. If there's an emergency, walk orderly out these exits. Before I come off the dais and present this evening's oath of office, I'd be remiss in not mentioning our finest dispatching crew and Sandy, the Chief Secretary, so thank you for being here as well this evening. You know, as mayor, I enjoy every part about being mayor, but when I have an opportunity like I do tonight to swear in a new police officer, to me that is one of the most special parts about being mayor of the Borough of Bloomingdale. And although it's sometimes sad with the changing of the guard because we have the finest men here, adding new members to our family is just as important and special to me. Conrad, welcome to the family. Welcome to the family of the Borough of Bloomingdale. You are joining one of the finest departments easily in the state of New Jersey and beyond, led by Chief Burrell. These guys serve this community beyond what they're required to do. They serve with compassion. They serve with incredible amount of respect. They keep our community safe. And each and every day I think of them, I pray for them, and I love each and every one of you for all you do for Bloomingdale. So it is an honor when I have any opportunity to thank all you gentlemen, and especially special when I can swear in a new member. It's so important to me, I get emotional when I speak about you guys, because it's that important to me. Before I introduce Chief Burrell to talk a little bit about Conrad Jimenez, our newest officer, I would just like to welcome Conrad's family, his mom Beatrice, her boyfriend Steve, and friends, and Samantha, correct? Conrad's girlfriend and Sam's family as well. I assure you, Beatrice and Sam, he's in great hands. He will be supported not only by these fine men, by the entire governing body of the Borough of Bloomingdale. We will always support our men in blue. So with that, before I invite the chief up, I do want to present the two most important ladies in Conrad's life. To you, Beatrice, for your raising such a fine young man. Thank you for allowing me to be part of our family. And Sam, your support of Conrad through his academy and through his young career is simply welcome to you. Now, with that said, I'd like to invite Chief Burrell to the podium to say a few words. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. I just want to start real quick by saying that these are not the greatest times in law enforcement. You're coming on at a time, Conrad, right now that, let's just say these are, the support is not, where it has been in the past, but like everything else, it's a cycle. It will come back. But even though these have been tough times in law enforcement recently, one thing I can say with confidence is that, well, while others might not have supported us to an extent, there's plenty who do, we've always had the support of our mayor and council. And I can't thank enough each of you for the support that you give to us as a police department one thing I do know is that you have our backs, and we are grateful for that. You have no idea how much that means to each of us as a department, and we're truly lucky to have you as our mayor and council and be part of this team together. So again, I want to thank each of you. I also want to thank real quick the Public Safety Committee, which consists of council members Dawn Hudson, Mike Sondermeyer, and John D'Amato, the president of the Public Safety Committee, for their help with this hiring of Conrad. They not only are they supportive, I truly appreciate their input. They really care. This is their town and they care. So when they give me input, it means a lot, and it's from the heart, and I've seen that on many levels. So I want to thank you as a Public Safety Committee also. So the reason we're here tonight, this is an exciting night. We're here to introduce our newest member of our police department, Conrad Jimenez. Conrad, why don't you come on up? You can just stand alongside me here. Just take it all in, because this is a great night. I think I can speak on behalf of every officer here tonight that the night you're sworn in, your first official, role and capacity as a police officer outside the academy is an exciting night, and one hopefully you'll never forget. Cherish it. We certainly look forward to having you a part of our department. You're coming into a great department, and I expect and hope that you'll flourish just like the rest of these guys have. A little bit about Conrad. Conrad's 24 years old. He's from Hawthorne. Conrad went to William Patterson College, where he got his degree in business administration, I think with a minor in finance, if I'm correct, from William Patterson College. Conrad worked part-time with the Fairlawn Police Department previous to going into the police academy. Conrad is bilingual, which I think is a great asset to this police department. We certainly will put you to the test with that, and it's a very welcome addition. But Conrad was one of several applicants who we interviewed for the process, and who we looked at as far as hiring on our police department. And the fact of the matter is, he stood out above all the other applicants. And on a smaller department like this, it's vital, it's just so important to find somebody who fits the personality of our department. And while it's tough to judge in such a small sample size, I feel pretty darn good about the fact that Conrad's going to fit right in with our department. And when we were done conducting interviews, again, he just he came to the top. He did an outstanding job. Everything we've done with our background checks and speaking to other individuals who not only know Conrad outside of the police academy or law enforcement, but just in his life, the feedback we've got has been tremendous. So again, I think Conrad is the caliber of person that we're looking for here in Bloomingdale, and a very welcome addition. As the mayor said, it's unfortunate in the sense that we do lose, a sergeant, who was highly respected on our department. But, with that, we bring, the new comes in, and, we look forward to Conrad being a part of our department. To the family, again, as I mentioned in the hallway, Conrad is part of our family, so are you. I think you can see we have a class organization here as a mayor and council, as a police department, and you'll find that out real early, that we're all in this together, and we'll certainly have our eye on and take care of Conrad. So I can look at you and assure you that. That being said, again, Conrad, I just want to welcome you to the Bloomingdale Police Department.
Thank you, Chief. At this time, I'd ask Conrad to join me in front of the podium, and I'd invite, we'll go in the front here, Conrad. I'll invite the teachers and Sam, you want to come up and you guys can both hold the Bible. You're good right there. Ask you to place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. And simply repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Conrad Jimenez,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and the governments
and the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of office of Bloomingdale Police Officer,
all the duties of office of Bloomingdale Police Officer,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. It is with added great honor that I present badge number 11 to Officer Conrad Jimenez, and possibly Mom and Sam, you can place that on Conrad. Conrad, before we have a final round of applause, I need you to come around and sign your oath of office, please. Right on that line there.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, newest Bloomingdale Police Officer Conrad Jimenez. Thank you, Mayor. We will take a few-minute recess. We have refreshments upstairs. Again, thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, everyone, and we wish Conrad a long, healthy, safe career here in Bloomingdale. There are no items for early executive session. We do have one non-agenda item, which is the approval of our annual garage sale dated April 30th and 31st with a rain date of May 7th and 8th. That's our only non-agenda. I need a motion to open early public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to speak to an agenda item, please come on up, state your name and address for the record.
The garage sales, Linda Huntley, 86 Van Dam, is May 7th and 8th, 2016.
Yeah, 16, yes. The committee wanted it approved early as I get rolling on it. April 30th and 31st, and then the rain date is May 7th and 8th. So there'll be marketing materials being sent shortly.
What's the letter from Kraft and Capizzi for the $750,000 bond anticipation note?
No, I don't know if the letter, I think, was about their merger, wasn't it? Let's see.
Oh, this is the one about.
Hold on, let me go.
We have to just note it for the record. It has to be in the minutes. I'll show you. Present your consent agenda.
Right, I got it. It is a letter dated August 20th to our treasurer stating, in accordance with your request, we have prepared and enclosed herewith the following. $750,000 bond anticipation note dated August 24th, maturing on March 11, 2016. And then the details pertaining to that. And we had a closing on that on August 21st of 2015. I'll give you a copy of it if you like.
No, I just wanted to know what it was. And our drones, we're having drone problems?
Councilman Delarippa requested that to be on the agenda. I think it's a topic that we're going to hear more of, because there's really no...
something to start discussing, not necessarily anything.
I don't think there'll be no action, just a discussion on...
So they don't come down to our football games and...
Yeah, I don't, well,
We actually have had
Really?
residents already,
Really?
complaining.
and it's I don't know about the complaints, but I've just seen friends of mine on Facebook noting that they have come near their house.
Wow.
So it will
I know, right?
become a
It's
problem.
going to be a new issue.
Go up on Lake and Pack all the time, flying over, taking pictures. Didn't see it on Facebook.
I haven't seen any by my house.
No, I haven't either, but it's going to be an interesting topic someday where they're going to be, is it a privacy issue over your backyard? Yeah.
Well,
I
that
think
they
there was
were.
one incident, I think out west, where somebody was flying over somebody's house, taking a picture, and their kids were in the backyard, and the guy shot it down.
Shot it down. I heard that one, yeah.
Arrested him because he was shooting them.
But they actually had it at our kids' swim meet
Yes, exactly.
at
That's where it
in another
started.
town, and they were filming the swim meet. So it's out there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, please? Seeing no one, motion to close early public comment.
So moved.
Number 9, reports. Jane, do you have anything for us?
Just for everyone's information, the candlelight ceremony will be Friday evening at 7 o'clock at Sloan Park.
Correct, and it's not a stroll, it's not a walk this year, it's just a gathering at the park. Butler and the borough had decided each do our own small service, and next year, when the 15th year anniversary, we'll resume our walk because Butler is receiving a piece of the tower, so they'll have their own memorial by next year. That's why, if anyone's wondering why it's not a combined event. Thank you, Jane. Anything else?
Now that's it.
Tracy, anything for us?
Nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, council members, anyone have anything? Okay. Item 10, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pending items. Tonight is the second final reading for ordinance 19-2015 reappropriation ordinance. Public notice statement, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this ordinance was posted in the municipal building, published in the Herald News. Copies available to the public, so that a motion may be made that it be read by title.
And who makes that motion, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I need a,
And
I'm
that
sorry.
would be amending reappropriation ordinance number 14-2015, finally adopted on June 9, 2015, and by the Borough of Bloomingdale.
Thank you. I need a motion to open public hearing.
So moved, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just before we continue, just remind, everyone's microphones are on, the red light is on, okay. Anyone wishing to speak to 19-2015, please come up, state your name and address for the record. Remember, this is just a housekeeping correction. We, at a prior meeting, introduced an ordinance to amend an old vehicle bond, about $20,000, for bed liners and undercarriage protection application, and then finance realized that bond had already been reallocated in the original bond we did for road paving and purchase of a vehicle, et cetera. So we're amending that bond to allow the purchase of these beds and liners and things for the vehicles. Anyone? Seeing no one, motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
And who moves to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Is
Roll-
there money in there
yeah.
to do, I see Matthews Terrace on there. Is that going to happen? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we, the ordinance with Matthews Terrace and all those roads was done previously. We're just amending that by that $17,000
Yeah, I
mark for
understand.
the bed liners. Paving, we're at the mercy of the co-op and the contractor, so he finally got here in August, and we had him concentrate on the schoolwork and the roads, Capitoline, et cetera, near the schools. And today they milled Crane, they started milling Bogue, so I believe he's here until he completes, and we are doing all the roads that we
Okay.
originally had approved. Roll call, please.
Councilmembers Costa.
Yes.
D'Amato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
Sondemire.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Okay. New business. We have 3 resolutions, A, B, and C. Resolution 2015 9.1, .2, and .3. The renewal of Stumble Inn liquor license, Tres Sombreros, and a renewal of an inactive license for the future brew pub. So I'm going to move all 3 in one motion. Is that okay, Jane? Who makes that motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmembers D'Amato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
Sondemire.
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Costa.
Yes.
The next item we are introducing tonight by title, ordinance number
20.
2015, creating the position of Recreation Director and defining the duties. The ordinance exists already on the creation of the position. What we're doing is correcting, the old ordinance had referenced summer camp hours at the Walter T. Bergen School. So that is being amended to state will be liaison working directly with Camp Vacamus in that summer program, because we no longer run it technically on our own, nor do we run it at the school. So that's the minor amendment we're making to that ordinance. So I need a motion to introduce, please.
So moved?
Second?
Any further discussion? You want a roll call? All in favor?
Aye.
And that would be an ordinance of the Borough of Bloomingdale creating the position of Recreation Director and defining the duties thereof. Second and final, September 22nd.
Yes, thank you. Item E is the appointment of our new part-time Recreation Director. I need a motion to appoint Rachel Baudour to this position.
So moved.
Second?
Is there any discussion?
Got a recommendation for the.
Yeah, I wanted to state for the record, myself, liaison to Rec Councilman Zondermeyer, and our Recreation President, Brian Brankert, interviewed, we received 6 applications, interviewed 4, and we make the recommendation of Rachel. Rachel comes with a great background, education in a college degree in education and physical education, but she was pretty much Gail's right-hand person for many, many years, and she ran, since she was probably 15, 16 herself, many programs. So not only we feel that as wonderful as a job Gail did, she'll bring just even a new sense of energy and new programs
definitely.
and keep what's going and make it only better. So that is an absolute strong recommendation from that committee.
Give that a resolution 9.4.
Resolution 9.4. And again, it is a part-time job with steady hours, which have been Monday and Wednesdays at the center, 7 to 9 p.m. But as you know, running every event, every program, for the annual payment of salary of $15,000, which is less than the prior one was making. So there's a motion on the table. I need a roll call, please.
Council members Hudson,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Delariva,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Zondermeyer,
Yes.
Yazdi,
Yes.
Costa,
Yes.
D'Amato.
Yes.
So could you vote twice?
Thank you.
Special.
And that would be effective for 9/15. She will begin. The next item, again, Councilman Delariva, just for discussion purposes, I wanted to put the topic of drones and their usage on the agenda. So, Rich, I'll give the floor to you for just whatever you wanted to.
Yeah, I
Start
just
talking
want to, Councilwoman Hudson mentioned, we were at a swim meet, I guess a few weeks ago now. And I don't know if it was a parent or a grandparent, was like filming the meet from a drone, was what it appeared to me. It was a little annoying because it was like behind me and I kept thinking there was a hornet's nest of them. But anyway, more to the point was, recently I had a neighbor point out that she had seen a drone either on her property or just off her property or something like that. And, there are obviously privacy concerns. I mentioned that, we were going to discuss, I asked for this to be added to the agenda for discussion. And I got a few, responses back from other neighbors who are obviously, some of them were pretty adamant that they just shouldn't exist, which obviously can't happen. But, there were pretty much everybody was agreed there are obviously privacy concerns with it. Also, I'd reached out to Tracy, asking, what the law is based on this. You'd mentioned that there was a bill passed last year, or this past session, I believe, what got pocket vetoed, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And that it's on, but that it's apparently not covered because they're hobbies, the FAA doesn't, you don't need a license or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that the most difficult part of it is that usually airspace is federally regulated. And right now the FAA has rules that they've proposed, but as you know, the federal government is quite slow with the federal rulemaking. And so there's really no clear guidance. And there are, I think we found just a couple of towns in New Jersey that have an ordinance regulating drones, but there's so many exceptions, and it really is just to regulate hobbies and under, I think, 400 feet or so.
Yeah.
And so basically what we're saying is that the area of law is so undeveloped, it's very difficult to know what we can and can't regulate at this time until the federal government, until the FAA really gives us some clearer rules.
Right. The ordinances that Tracy pointed out to me seemed full of I mean, severability clauses, if the FAA doesn't say this, if New Jersey doesn't say that, then we can say this, but, maybe not. And it's like, so, I mean, obviously, I think we can all agree that there's some privacy concerns about people, taking these, remote controlled drones that have remote video feeds and, putting them over, parking them outside somebody else's house or something like that. So,
Interesting.
There's also, getting back to what we had talked about earlier, that the gentleman in, I don't remember whatever state it was, I think, John, you mentioned it, and he took it into his own hands to shoot down the drone, and he was arrested, and he had a lot of support from people. However, most of those people don't realize how incredibly dangerous it was and what he did that day. They supported the fact that he felt he was, protecting his family, but what he did was incredibly dangerous. And I think it would be a smart move for our town to eventually do something, and you're kind of...
I think you're going to have a problem. And the reason being, you see these out that Amazon is going to start delivering that way.
right. I
There's
think,
things that are going to happen that we have no control over. So I don't think any law or ordinance that we put in place, airspace is free until it's regulated.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people who have the remote control helicopters. What's the difference? Remote control planes. What's the difference?
right. And that's
Technology, they can fly just as far almost as a drone.
right. And that was part of the problem. I think part of our discussion was the fact, when I saw those ordinances and they had so many exemptions or what ifs or what like that, and you pointed out there's no case law currently covering any of this.
Right.
So, there's obviously concern there that anything we put out, because there's only a couple other towns who've worked on this, that, somebody could turn around and sue us. So, I wanted to bring it up because obviously, I don't know, we're not going to make a decision now, but we need to think about, there's obviously, we have to balance somewhere the privacy of our residences versus the rights of our residents who have those
Right. Well, here's what I suggest. We ask Tracy to give the governing body a formal written memo on the topic and your opinions and recommendations, along with copies of the ordinances that have been adopted throughout New Jersey. And then we can continue to review it. I've never received a complaint in town about the issue. Not to say it's not going to become more of an issue, but the interesting point of like a drone over your swim meet, there's really no difference than a parent videotaping it from their iPad. What's
No,
difference
and I wasn't
from
going to say there was anything particularly wrong with that because
Right.
it was a public place and stuff like
Right,
that. But
exactly.
that's what first put it in my mind.
Sure. All right.
And then when, obviously when a neighbor said something 2 weeks later about seeing one on their property or possibly on their property, that's when I said, maybe we should start researching this.
All right. So Tracy, can we do that? And again,
Sure.
it doesn't have to be on the top of the list, but I think it's something we should keep on the list and we can continue to review.
Okay,
Okay.
Mayor.
Does that sound fine, Rich?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you all. Moving along. The next item is a resolution 2015 9.4. I'm sorry, 5. Correct, Jane?
Yes.
Emergency water repairs. Who makes that motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? And a roll call, please.
Councilmembers Hudson,
Yes.
Sandemeyer,
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Costa.
Yes.
D'Amato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
The next item is Resolution 2015 9.6, amending the budget with the Chapter 159 for the addition of North Colwell Board of Education construction review in the amount of $1,710. Who makes that motion?
So moved.
Second?
Do you want it all in favor?
Yes, it's money.
Roll call?
Councilmember Sandemeyer,
Yes.
Yazdi.
Yes.
Costa.
Yes.
D'Amato.
Yes.
Delariva.
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
And our final new business item is Resolution 2015 10.7 and 10.8, recognizing 2 Bloomingdale Eagle Scouts. Who I'd like to have this resolution declaring September 19th Nicholas Vitone Day, as well as Connor Klingman Day. Those are the 2 young men achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. I will be attending the ceremony and presenting these resolutions on that day. So who makes that motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
We'll do a roll call, please.
Councilmembers Yazdi.
Yes.
Costa.
Yes.
D'Amato. Delariva.
Yes.
Hudson.
Yes.
Sandemeyer.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I need a motion now for late public comment.
So moved.
How about the garage sale?
I'm sorry?
We'll do the garage sale thing?
Oh, I'm sorry, not agenda. I need a motion, you don't need a resolution on that. A motion to approve the dates of garage sale as stated earlier, April 30th, 31st, and rain date May 7th and 8th. And then the committee of Sally Fain will prepare registration documents and just like last year. And it was a big success, I'm told. Who makes that motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Now I need a motion to open late public comment. Who makes that motion?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wishing to speak, please come up.
Linda Huntley, 86 Van Dam. The resolution for the emergency water and sewer repairs, where was that done and how much was it?
Oh, sure.
It's 2 pump stations.
Yeah, the pump stations. Hold on one second. Is that both of them?
I think they're all two.
Natalie Court Pump Station, Phil Barrett, $960. Vreeland Pump Station, Phil Barrett, $735. And Vreeland Pump Station, Parkhurst Distribution for the new 2 horsepower grinder motor, $3277. And again, just if, I was prepared if the council was to ask, because we're trying to limit any subbed out work, which we have really done a great job on. But I had asked the department why did we have to sub out to a local plumber, and the response was both pump stations needed circuit board and electrical work that he was specialized in his field of plumbing. If Vreeland was an old pump, needed to be replaced and wired. Natalie was a pipe that rotted away and was taken care of during the day and needed a manpower along with the crane to remove the rotted pipe along with this equipment for the repair. So those were the crane reason, and the circuit boards is why we had to sub out those small portions.
Okay, I also wanted to find out from the council what their feelings are so far as the quarry is concerned. You've heard a lot of information so far, and I just wanted to know where you're standing. Dawn, what's your opinion about the quarry?
I think, I've said all along that, I live right around the corner from you.
Mhm.
And I don't take it lightly. Until all of the information has come in, I am not a yes and I'm not a no. So I'm still on the fence.
Rich?
I think my stand hasn't changed at this point, where I can see a lot of possible benefits, but I'd like to see the positives and negatives actually written out. I'm waiting on the studies that are coming out to make sure that, they actually would or wouldn't be positive benefits for the, because if there's not a positive benefit for the borough, like doing the COA so that we avoid all that stuff that wrapped in. I don't have a strong opinion
But
right
we already
now.
have the COA, so it's got nothing to do with COA. We already have the COA.
We do not have COA.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
The judge gave us the COA already, so that's already approved.
Hasn't been built, though.
Doesn't have to be, right?
Yeah, we just hired a company that's going to do a study for us, and then once they're, upon the conclusion of that study and the benefits they're going to be showing us, then we're going to make the decision.
John?
I'll be honest with you, right now, I'm on a positive side. There's still more information coming in. I think there's benefits to us, but we haven't gotten into the real nit and gritty of what we're going to get out of it. But I'm going to be honest with you, I'm in favor of it.
Okay, I'd like to ask all of you that I just questioned, why, since you're still trying to get information, none of you were at the meeting for TilCon at Riverdale on August 26th, when every resident that was there complained about TilCon, and none of you were there. Why? If you're trying to get information, why didn't you attend?
So is Tony.
Yeah, Tony, well, first, Councilman Costa.
We were representing the council
Right.
and the town of Bloomingdale, Mike Sondermeyer and myself, and we attended that
But you
meeting.
reported to them already about this?
We have not yet, but we were going to tonight.
But this was how many weeks ago?
We haven't had a meeting.
That's really upsetting to me.
I was in
that-
New Hampshire taking my daughter to college, if that.
And I was in Atlanta, so that's why I
In
wasn't able to
Atlanta.
attend.
And John was on vacation, and Ray was on vacation.
This
so
is the first
we
meeting.
had representation,
Yes, and I was at one of my children's events that I couldn't miss.
but we did have representation.
Well, I'm just very concerned that the council is not really doing what I believe. And that's my opinion. As someone who was on the council for 6 years, the council is not doing what I believe they should be doing for their due diligence as far as the concern for the residents that live in this town, as far as with this quarry coming, if you do go with this quarry.
Wait. The council is certainly doing their due diligence. If
That's my opinion. You can't argue my opinion. My opinion is my opinion.
Then I won't.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Of course, here, it's not coming.
Right. Well, the quarry's here, not coming. The council's absolutely doing their due diligence. If this was a slam dunk council pushing this through, this could be done in 2 meetings. But no, we have taken 3 years, multiple public presentations, pros and cons, and we I've hired an economic developer to look at the pros and cons of the development, pros and cons of COA, pros and cons of on property values and the like. So for anyone to say on the record it's their opinion that we haven't done due diligence is a false statement. Name and address for the record?
Linda Huntley, 86 Van Dam. Well, then I have to reiterate, when you were running for election 2 years ago, and I brought up the quarry, what did you say? What is quarry? What will you bring this up for? There's nothing going on here. We're not even considering this. So you've been doing it for 3 years. Now all of a sudden, then you weren't?
When I ran for what, re-election?
Yes.
Last year? No, everything we said was we are doing our due diligence and exploring a concept.
Well, you complained about the flyer that I put out and said that it wasn't, I was just jumping the gun more or less, and that was not true at all, obviously.
Well, your flyer, which I actually thought was Save Federal Hill Committee.
Well, I'm part of the Save Federal Hill Committee.
I don't have it in front of me, but it implied that it was a done deal, that this was happening, and that the position of myself has always been, we are exploring a concept presented to the borough, and that's exactly what we're doing. Linda, no matter what I say, if you're against it, you would have wanted a governing body from day one to say no and not explore anything. I won't operate that way. It is absolutely any elected official's job to explore a concept that, this is what we're still exploring, possibly could have benefits from a tax issue, benefits from a Mount Laurel issue. You sit there and insist the judge court-ordered Mount Laurel, it doesn't have to be built. That is not true. That is not true. The Meir family could tomorrow sell their ability to build 71 units and put them on Main Street. That would not be a positive for the borough. That would not bring a positive rateable for the borough. So there are things we're exploring.
The property is already zoned for the affordable housing.
Correct. They sued for zoning.
Exactly.
So if he at the end of the day, someone says COA can never be built there because the site just doesn't permit it, okay? Then, one, that would be misrepresentation on the borough's part for wanting it there in the first place.
Well, it wasn't the borough's decision to put it there. It was the Meir family who sued to put it there.
It was the borough's decision. The borough put Mount Laurel zoning on Federal Hill.
Because we were sued to do that.
No.
Yes,
The zoning was there prior. No, back in the 80s when they said, Mount Laurel, Bloomingdale, what are you doing? Oh, we'll put some on the ball track. We'll put some on the Higgins-Paragallo. We'll put some on Meir. And those were the sites. And since that time, those sites have either been saved as open space, and that's what put the pressure. That's when we lost our substance certification, thus these builder remedies lawsuits. The only reason, Avalon Bay wasn't a Mount Laurel site, they sued for it. My point is, that development, if they sued, could now be built 4 houses from your house now. You can't say it couldn't be. You'd be against that too, and I get that, I understand that. But don't sit there and say, please let me finish. Do not sit there and say, it's on the hill, it's zoned for it, we're good, because we're not. It doesn't make it go away. Absolutely not. Bloomingdale, except for Avalon Bay, hasn't built a stitch of Mount Laurel since its existence, and our numbers were in the high 200s, 300s, and that's why we lost our certification, because COA wasn't happy when...
That's not why we lost the certification.
We lost the certification because we didn't build anything.
We lost the certification because we went there and said we were going to build it on the horse farm, and they told us, you can't build it on the horse farm, that's in the preservation area, so they pulled our certification. I mean,
No.
yes.
That's not true. The certification was pulled prior to the Highlands. Absolutely. Check your facts.
I did. And
You're absolutely wrong.
No, I
You're
don't
incorrect.
think so. I don't
We
think so.
lost our certification because our Mount Laurel was put on sites that since were saved as preservation.
And because we turned around and said that where we were going to build it was going to be the horse farm.
Which would have solved, we wouldn't have lost the certification. Then the Highlands came in, stopped that, and then this lawsuit started. So you know the history.
Yeah, I do.
My point is, do not sit there on the public record and say things like, we don't have to build Mount Laurel because it's
I
zoned
never
that
said
way.
we didn't have to build Mount Laurel.
You said we didn't
or I
have to build it because it's already on the site.
I said that it's already on that site and that the property is already zoned for that, for the affordable housing. The judge agreed to that.
Correct.
So that's where we have the
Correct.
72 units of affordable housing.
And let's say that could never happen. Let's forget Tilcon. Let's say Mears say, you know, we're never going to find a buyer for this. Let's just say that happens. Then what do you think happens? Mears just goes away, or Mears, ultimately finds a builder, or they sell their Mount Laurel zoning. They could go to a builder like Avalon Bay did and say, Judge, we can't build it here. We want it on Main Street. We want it on Van Dam. We want it on Glen Wild Ave. And then when that happens, then all those residents in those areas will be, not happy either. We're just trying to manage our own destiny, and that's what we're doing our due diligence in exploring.
Well, that doesn't mean that you would have to change what is already presently zoned as a conservation easement and change that, but that is being done.
But we don't know that yet. No, at the end of the day.
That's what you're trying to do.
No, at the end of the day, honestly, right now on this council, if this was up for vote today, I don't even think I have 4 votes here if this was to go through today. I really don't, because there's more information needed. And one of those issues is that conservation easement. If at the end of the day, they were going to extend 20 acres and we can keep that a green belt, then maybe it's something the council would consider. Maybe it's something the residents would have less of a problem with. These are the things we need to explore. But to say we're not doing our work, if this was a slam dunk political deal, this could have been done in 2 meetings. You know that. And we don't operate that way.
It couldn't have been done in 2 meetings.
Well, it could have done an introduction of a zoning ordinance, planning board review, so 3 meetings, excuse me. But that's not how we operate. We've engaged the public more than any law requires us to do, because that's the only way we're going to do it.
Because you knew there was going to be an uproar.
No,
Yes.
then it would have been less painful to go and just do it.
No.
But that's not the way we operate.
May I, John?
Yeah, but no, if you just sit there and say that's...
What this comes down to is a very simple thing. And it's what I have said over and over and over again. And that is that there is no way that somebody's going to bring me or any council person up here an idea and we will just immediately dismiss it.
Right.
Plain and simple. Because I had a family obligation, there was no way I'm missing my family obligation. Plain and simple. These gentlemen can give me a report. But to say to me, you were very clear that you're very unhappy, that you don't believe we're doing due diligence.
That's correct.
I am. I've done my homework. I've had meetings aside from these council people, asking the questions, wanting to know. I'm one of those people that live right there.
Yes, I know.
Right around the corner from you. This affects me and my family, not just Dawn Hudson sitting up on the dais just making a decision lightly and not caring. So please do not think that I don't care. Do not think that I'm not doing my due diligence. And do not think because I missed 1 meeting with Riverdale.
Did you go to the previous one? You didn't go to the previous meeting either.
Excuse me?
You didn't go to the previous meeting of Riverdale either.
No, I did not.
That's 2 meetings.
And they can't give me a report on that? I'm sorry, but there are going to be times as a council person, I'm also a mom. And as a mom, if my kids have something important, well, guess where I'm going to be? That is my priority. And I can get very easily a report. But you take offense, so do I. So please, don't tell me that I'm not doing my due diligence. At the end of the day, I'm making an educated decision. And good for me. Everyone else on this dais can comment however they would like to, but that is where I'm going to leave this right now. I'm doing my due diligence, I'm doing my homework, and I will make an educated decision. Done.
That's your opinion. You're entitled to that also.
It's not an opinion, it's a fact.
Well, I don't agree with that fact. Because I don't think...
You have no idea who I've met. Why would you...
I also know that you did, because I also know that you didn't meet with someone that's actually part of my group, and they asked you, why were you going for it? And you said, well, it's because of the money. What money?
I'm sorry, I never made that comment. Never.
Then I will have that person come to the next meeting.
Here, knock your
Could I
socks
just
off.
write?
I will.
Sure.
You never said that.
That perhaps we could have this is an opportunity for public comment. It's not a question and answer session. And you're very welcome to make any comments you would like, Ms. Huntley. Of course you are. But perhaps we could all just remember, this is a public meeting.
Right.
We should have a
No, I know, but
sense
we're
of the purpose of this portion.
right. But we're more than willing to engage and unlike prior governing bodies, and answer questions and engage with someone. So that's fine. Fact.
No, I did engage with other people also. Thank you.
You have a nice evening. Anyone else, please? Seeing no one, motion to close.
Second.
It's been quiet. All in favor? Aye.
The flyer said no quarry in Bloomingdale.
Right.
When there's a quarry in this town, and it's very misleading.
Right.
Especially for someone that was a councilwoman on this council, was sitting up here for 6 years to mislead the people of Bloomingdale. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Right, because there is a quarry in Bloomingdale. Okay, we do have executive session, one matter of negotiation. There will be no action on that matter. And if there ever was, the public has the opportunity to comment, but there will be not. Governing body schedule, September 22nd, 7 p.m., and we will be honoring retiring Rec Director Gail Galbraith that evening. Candlelight ceremony, remember, this Friday, 7 p.m., gathering at Sloan Park. I need a motion to go to executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.